Welcome to Learn Commerce PU online classes. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Hello students, welcome to second PUC English online class. In today's class, let us read the last poem of the syllabus, that is Water by Swarooparani Challapalli or Challapalli Swarooparani. She began writing about her experiences. She moved from personal to the social and attained confidence in clarity. Her mature poetry consciously deals with issues of gender and caste. Neeli Megagalu, then Chikkanu Uttanna Pata are some of her works. And the translator of this poem is Uma Brugabanda, teaches at the Center of Cultural Studies at the English and Foreign Languages University, Hyderabad. She is currently writing her doctoral dissertation on Telugu cinema and the production of religious and secular subjectivities. Here, Challapalli Swarooparani, she is the Dalit woman, and whatever she had experienced being Dalit, being an untouchable, she had explained and she had expressed in the form of poetry, that is water. Challapalli Swarooparani, in her poetry, she focuses on the issues such as gender and caste especially. And the poem is a metaphor that shows plight of the untouchable or Vada people in her society. Then water in this poem does not merely act as a substance, but it turns out to be a symbol of a revolt. So here water that not only that feeds or that saves human beings and all, but also it turns as a subject of a revolt, or the symbol of a revolt. Then she condemns, Challapalli Swarooparani, she condemns the state of the poor and downtrodden that are denied water. Okay, so being poor, being untouchable or being downtrodden is considered as a curse in front. What Challapalli Swarooparani, she feels that being born or getting birth in these kind of lower caste is a curse she feels. Then contrasting picture is brought out where some people die without water and other washed out by the killer tsunami. So here the two contrasting images are brought out in the poem, and they are in one side the water saves or it gives the life, in another side it destroys or it kills the people. And here before we go to the poem, let us know what is this untouchability or caste system. In the beginning of the civilization, or we can say a few years ago, or nearly 20 to 30 years ago, than that we can say nearly 10 to 20 years ago, there was a practice of Varna system. In this Varna system, the society was categorized into 4 categories. The first one is Brahmanas, who perform the pujas or meditations or giving medicines, all these things. And the second one is Kshatriyas, they do the administration or ruling, etc. And the third one, Vaishyas, they do the work such as agriculture and all those activities. And the last one was Shudra, and the Shudras are there to do all the duties, cleanliness, then all these things of upper classes, other 3 categories of people. And in that even in Shudras there are other groups also, and in that the lowest group was panchamas. Okay, they were used to clean the sanitaries, etc. So here Challapalli Swarooparani, she is through this poem she expresses her feeling or her hardships or the way how the society treats these untouchables, that she had expressed in her poem. And here the water is the common substance that is available everywhere and it is given by God, but the human beings, they themselves made the restriction, they themselves divided into the categories or groups or castes, and they did not allow other people to take that or to use that water. So the water became an symbol, or water became a symbol of revolt. So let us read the poem. Just as the water knows the ground's incline, it knows the generation's old strife between the village and the vada, like the dampness on the well's edge that never dries. It knows that untouchability never disappears. The water knows everything. It knows the difference of race between Samaria woman and Jesus the Jew. It also knows the subcaste differences between leather and spool. It knows the agony of the Panchama who, not having the right to draw a pot of water, waits all day near the well with his empty pot until a Shudra arrives. It knows the humiliation of the Vada girl when he who poured the water from a distance falls all over and touches her. It knows the righteous rage of Karamachedi Swartama who opposed the Kamma landlords with her water pot when they asked her not to pollute the pond water. The water is witness to centuries of social injustice. When I see water, I remember how my Vada, which would thirst all day for a glass of water. For us, water is not simply H2O. For us, water is a mighty movement. It is the Mahat struggle at the Chadar tank. A single drop of water embodies tears shed over several generations. In the many battles we fought for a single drop of water, our blood flowed like streams. But we never managed to win even a small puddle of water. When I see water, I remember how we welcomed our weekly bath as if it was a wondrous festival, while the entire village bathed luxuriously twice a day. When I see water, I remember my childhood when we walked miles to reach the big canal and carried back heavy pots with the muscles and veins on our necks straining, bursting. I remember its thatched roofs aflame, the Mallapalle burning to ashes for want of a pot of water. Water is not simple thing. It can give life, but it can also devour lives. The water that refused to quench parched throats became the killer tsunami wave that swallowed whole village after village. The poor are but playthings. In its vicious hands, often it turns villages into dry deserts, and sometimes it drowns them in floods. Between the village and the Vada, between one state and another, this water can ignite many struggles and strife. It can make blood run in streams, but it can also sit innocently in a Bisleri bottle. This water from our village well that forces us to do many a circus feat now slowly, surreptitiously dances its way into the Pepsi man's bottle. With its new name, mineral water, it takes to the skies, it raises a storm. Now, water is no mean matter. It's a multinational market commodity. As they say, water is omniscient, it contains the world. So, this is what Challapalli Swarooparani she expresses in this poem. She had expressed all his pains. She had expressed all his experiences in this poem. How the village people, the Vada people, the Panchamas, those untouchables, those Shudras, how they treated, those Shudras are the lower caste, still how they treated the other lower class people, that also explained in this. And Panchamas were the lowest class of the society, and their birth was really a curse to them, and everywhere they had to suffer. Even for the drinking water also they had to suffer. They had to wait for a long time near the well until the Shudras arrives. They were not allowed to touch even the well water, or not even, they were not allowed to touch anyone, the upper class people, their things, anything. They were separate. They were called untouchables. Okay, and they were treated as dirty or dog eaters or dead thing eaters, like that they were treated, and they were treated in a very cheap and in a very low manner. So it is a disgusting thing that every human being are the same, but why people are dividing themselves, or they make discrimination and ill treat other people. Really this is a devastating thing, and it's a disgusting thing. And let us pray that all those dirty things or dirty practices would not appear in future or in coming days. Let us pray like that. So what the poem says, just as the water knows the ground's incline, how the water knows how to flow under the ground. The water knows the ground's incline, in the sense its standing surface, incline in the sense it knows, the water knows the ways or it ground's incline. It knows the generation old style, how it knows the way, how the water knows its way on the ground or on this earth, the same way that generation old strife it knows. The water knows what is happening from the generation. Because of water, what is going on in the society, that also water knows, and it knows that old generation strife, the struggle or that discrimination or that ill treatment, that is known only to whom? To the water. It knows the generation old strife, violent and angry disagreement between two or more people, strife in the sense. So in the sense between the Vada and the village, between the Vada and village. Like the dampness on the well's edge that never dries, it knows that untouchability never disappears. Water knows what? Water knows that untouchability never disappears, as if the dampness near the well, at the edge of a well. So have you seen the well? And have you seen the edge of the well? Now nobody is fetching the water from well, so you might not know. But in some houses, still they are fetching or dragging water from the well, and they might know where you keep your pot on the edge of the well. There, that place will be always damp, or that always wet, and it never dries even in the summer season. Why? Because every time the water falls on that place and it will be wet any time. So how the edge of the well, it is wet all the times, the same way here the untouchability will be practiced all the time. It is said that it never ends, it will never disappear. The water knows everything, everything water knows, and water is the cause for each and everything. The water knows everything. It knows the difference of races too. The water is also known about the difference of races too. How? Here the example is taken from years ago, that is from Bible, between the Samaria woman and Jesus the Jew. So here the Gospel of John is taken here, and there was a Jacob's well in Galilee. Galilee, Jews had no dealings with these Samaritans, and so here Jesus he asked water from from the well with the Samaria woman, and there it was considered that Jews are not, they did not have dealings with the Samaritans. So there was also what a discrimination. So between Samaria woman and Jesus the Jew, water knows the difference between them too. It also knows the subcaste difference between leather and spool. So here there is a subcaste, leather and spool. One could make the shoes, another could repair or sew the shoes. Okay. So there are also two subcaste, inner caste, subcaste. Okay. So that difference also known by water. It knows the agony of the Panchama, the water. What it doesn't know. Water knows everything. It knows the agony of Panchama. Agony in the sense the pain, that hardships or that sad feeling of Panchama, the fifth group of Dalit or Harijan we say. So here Dalits are excluded from a fourfold Varna system formed and they are unmentioned. That fifth Varna. So they are called as Panchamas. They not even having the right to draw the water, who not having the right to draw a pot of water from the well, they had to wait until the Shudra arrives with their empty pots. It may be from morning to evening until they arrive. They did not have the right to even to call those Shudras to give water to them. Whenever Shudras wish, then they can come. And at that time they have to give water to these Shudras, Panchamas, and they had to wait for long time in a parched roads or being thirsty, they had to wait. It knows the humiliation of the Vadagal. After Shudras coming, when they are giving water, how do they give? If the girls are going, it was such a humiliating, embarrassing situation for them. Why? Because when he who poured the water from a distance falls all over and touched her. So when he pours water, it falls everywhere. So the girl used to get wet. And just imagine a girl is getting wet in the public place, in the sense how humiliation, how embarrassing it may be, and how that girl might have felt that humiliation. So this was the situation, or this was the state of those untouchables or the Panchamas. It knows the righteous rage of Karamachedu Swartamma, who opposed the Kamma landlords with her water pot when they asked her not to pollute the pond water. So it also knows the opposition of these lower caste or untouchables with the upper class. Here it knows the righteous rage, in the sense, it is actually morally good. So the what we say, it's actually whatever that Karamachedu Swartamma that she did, it is correct. She was angry, but she was angry against whom? Against Kamma landlords. They took their buffaloes to the pond where these Dalits could use that water, and when she stopped those Kamma landlords getting their buffaloes into the pond, at that time they were against him and they attacked him with her water pot when they asked her not to pollute the pond water. The water is witness to centuries of social injustice. So here Challapalli, she is saying that water is the witness to centuries social injustice. From the beginning of this universe, whatever injustice is going on, water could silently witnessing it, and it is always witnessing silently, and still it is going to witness. When I see water here, she recalls her olden days or her childhood days, and she is saying, when I saw water, I remember. Now when she sees water, she remembers her past, how my Vada which would thirst all day for a glass of water. When she look at the water, now she is remembering for a glass of water or for a bit of water, how long their Vada people they waited in the with the parched throats or with the thirsty, even the children, even the elders, even the old people, how much they waited and how did they suffer, she is remembering. And also she is saying that for us water is not just simply H2O, it is a mighty movement. Water is a mighty movement to them. Why? Because for the drop of water, for a puddle of water, they struggled a lot and they flew, or they let their blood flow like river or like water. It is the Mahat struggle at the Chadar tank. March 20th, 1927, this Mahat struggle took place to allow untouchables to use water from a public tank in Mahat, and the day was observed as the Social Empowerment Day in India. And here there was a lot of struggle of these Vada people behind that, and it is the Mahat struggle at the Chadar tank. A single drop of water embodies tears shed over several generations. Now whatever we are getting, a single drop of water, it embodies, it resembles, or it is the witness of centuries tears shed for the drop of water. In the many battle we fought for a single drop of water. Many battle they fought, many revolt they the battle fought, and they fought against these upper class people just for the sake of water. But we never managed to win. But they are failed to manage, they are failed in their movement or in their struggle. Even a small puddle of water, to get even a small puddle, small amount of water. Then also she is saying, when I see water, I remember how we welcomed our weekly bath as if it was a wondrous festival. So when she sees water, she remembers how her Vada people, they were waiting for a glass of water to drink and also to take bath at least twice in a week. But what these upper class people were doing? They were taking bath twice in a day. It was very difficult to manage or to get water to take bath twice in a week for Vada people, but those upper class people, they used to take bath twice in a day. See here how cruel or how worst this discrimination was. While the entire village bathed luxuriously twice a day. These village people, these Vada people, what did they do? Is it their mistake that they born in that lower caste? No, everyone are human being itself. Then why there is such kind of cruel discrimination was followed? That God only knows. When I see water, I remember my childhood. And also she is saying, when she was small, when she was a child, she struggled a lot for the sake of water. And she says that when I see water, I remember my childhood, how much they struggled to and they experienced the pain to get water. When we walked miles to get water, to fetch water, they used to walk miles, road to reach the big canal and carried back heavy pots. To reach the heavy canals, the big canals, they had to walk miles, and after filling their pots with the canal water, they used to carry their pots on their back with the muscles and veins on our necks straining and bursting. When they carry their pots on their head, their neck was paining, and even the veins they were like bursting, okay, because of the pain. They could not tolerate that weight. Since they were very small, first of all they had to walk a long distance, and over that they had to carry that weight on their head, and it was a very hard and it is a painful moment she is explaining in the poem. Then also she is saying, I remember its thatched roofs aflame, the Mallapalle burning to ashes for want of pot of water. Once what happened? In a Mallapalle, the house was burning into ashes and they required a pot of water. and if there was a pot of water, the whole house or the village could be saved. But when there was no water, the whole house that was burnt into fire and turned into ashes. So here that also she remembers, and later she is saying, water is not simply thing, it can give life. Don't underestimate water. Don't think that water is the simple thing, it can give life, and if we supply water or if we pour water, then only it can be useful. No, water, do not underestimate water. It can also devour lives. Remember, the simple thing, the commonest thing we are treating in a very silly way, that water that can devour life, that can kill or that can swallow the life of everyone. I said in the beginning, the two contrast images we can see. In one side the water can give life, in another side water can kill. So without water also it can kill, and with the drought, with the flood also it can kill. If there is a tsunami wave, if it washes out everything, then there is no address of any human being. It can also devour lives. The water that refused to quench parched throats. The water that refused to quench parched throats. Which water was refused by upper class to quench or to satisfy the parched throats, in the sense dry, very dry throats, became the killer tsunami. Which water that was denied by the upper class, that water itself has grown up like a monster and it became like a killer in the form of a tsunami wave and swallowed whole village after village. If there is a flood, if there is tsunami, anyone could not stop it. It can definitely swallow or it can definitely wash out everything without leaving a simple clue of human beings. The poor are but playthings. Here who are the playthings or victims? Definitely the poor. In its vicious hands, the brutal hands of this water, poor are the playthings. It's the saddest thing. Often it turns village into dry deserts. Sometimes what water can do? It can turn the village into dry desert without rain or without water. It can make the village into a dry desert, and sometimes it drowns them in floods. If there is heavy rain, if there is a flood, then also it can destroy. So here the victims are, the real victims are the poor. The poet is saying, between the village and the Vada, between one state and another, this water can ignite many struggles and strife. Not only between village and Vada, but also between states. You might have seen Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, both the states are fighting for what? For the Kaveri water, right? So here also water is the cause for the fight or for discussion. Between village and Vada, between one state and another, this water can ignite in the sense to start burn, kitchu hachisudu anteli heltare. Okay, so that work it does, in the sense the water is a cause for every strife and struggles, every fight and problems, it is said. It can make blood run in streams. Because of the water, water can make blood run in streams. In the sense people they are fighting. You might have seen in April-May season, when there is no water, people rush to the public water tanks, and there they fight, and some they lose their lives too while struggling to get the water for their house or for themselves. So this is what it is said here. So the water can make blood run in streams, but it can also sit innocently in a Bisleri bottle. That simple innocent water, it can make such a big hangama, or it can create such a drastic, or it's a terrible attack on the society or on the human being or on the world or universe, such, and the same water, now how it is sitting? Innocently sitting in the Bisleri bottle as if a prisoner or as if an innocent one. It can also sit innocently in Bisleri bottle, helplessly or innocently it is sitting in a Bisleri bottle. The same water which can devour the life and which can give the life. This water from our village, from where that water is taken and filled in the Bisleri bottle? It is taken not from the village, it is taken from Vada village itself. Okay, it is taken from Vada itself, and it is now no one is asking who took that water, where it was taken, who filled in the bottle. No, all people, all caste people, they are buying water from the shops, that bottle water. And here this water from our village well, that forces us to do many circus feat. This village well water, what did it make? It made everyone, or it forced everyone to make a circus feat. Circus feat in the sense what? They had to walk miles, they had to do the struggles, or they had to do the movements, fights, everything. The same water now sitting in a Bisleri bottle. Now the same water slowly and surreptitiously in the sense secretly, hidingly, it is dancing its way into the Pepsi man's bottle. It did everything, it had ignited strife everywhere, and now slowly, surreptitiously dancing. Kutantri anta heltaralla, like that. Okay, it dancing and going where? Going to the Pepsi man's bottle. And now it has become a commodity with its new name, mineral water. Now this well water or village public tank water, no, now it has taken mineral water, new name, English name it has got. It takes to the skies, it raises a storm. So everyone like to drink water from the bottle than the well water. Now water is no mean matter. Now water is not a simple thing. It is a multinational market commodity. Anywhere you go, water is a multinational market commodity. It is sold in the shops. Water is available everywhere, right? Wherever you go, you can get water. But the same water, now it has become the multinational commodity. If you want to drink water, you have to pay money. If you go anywhere and want to drink water, you have to pay money. Though water is available everywhere, you cannot drink that water because you don't feel to drink that water because you don't find it clean or hygienic. So you prefer bottled water itself. So you pay money and drink water. As they say, water is omniscient, it knows everything, it contains the world. So the water contains the world, but still that water is used as a multinational market commodity, and without any hard work, the people are getting money or they are making money from water. So this is what Challapalli Swarooparani explaining in this poem. Here one thing we have to realize that the water is the commonest thing, it is a plain thing, and it is also considered as the real elixir of life, and that water that is cause for the emergence or for the existence of human civilization, and the same water could become the destroyer of the life too, in the form of floods or in the form of tsunami. So here the message is that we must not underrate, or we must not degrade, or we must not ill treat water. Why? Because water is the omniscient, it knows everything. it knows the centuries struggle, and also it knows the problem of the society, and now it has taken a new name, that is mineral water. And dear students, here also we can see how people they ill treat each other, and here one thing we have to remember and learn, that we should not we should not allow to practice anyone this caste system, because all human beings are same. Especially in the case of water, we are not supposed to deny to give water to anyone, because water is God's gift for everyone, and we do not have any right on that water. Water is for everyone, it's meant for, or it's given for everyone. We do not have right on that. We can't restrict, or we cannot possess our water. We cannot have ownership on water. Why? Because it's for everyone. So here, the students, we have to realize that whatever God has given, we have to use, and we have to protect, and we have to preserve it for the future generation. We should not destroy, and also we must learn to respect each other, because every human being, they are same. All human beings are same. Even they have feelings, they have emotions, they have pain. Okay, so we must treat one another equally. How we are, we have to treat others also like us. So this is the message that Challapalli Swarooparani, she is giving through this poem, and this is the last poem of the syllabus. So please read the reader for all the lessons, and whatever you are getting the notes, it's not printed material. If you get, it's not enough. You have to enlarge the answers. Okay, for 4 marks you have to write nearly 1 page answer. So dear students, when you read the reader, you can enlarge, or you can write a long answer. That's why, dear students, without fail, read the reader and try to analyze your lessons and poems. Thank you for watching.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.